Parents, and happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all our wonderful fathers out there. It takes a lot to be a father. Fathers do a lot, they make a lot of sacrifices, a lot of hard work, and we just want to appreciate them this wonderful day. Happy Father's Day to all our fathers once again. Very quickly, I'll be sharing 10 mistakes that fathers ought to avoid so that they can have a wonderful, a lasting, and a rewarding relationship with their children. If you're doing so much as a father in terms of making so much effort, hard work, sacrifices, at the end of the day it should be rewarding and it should be fulfilling for you as a parent. So number one mistake to avoid as a father is to avoid being the scarecrow of the family. What do I mean? We mothers were guilty of this. You see, a child has misbehaved, and then the mother says, "You, I will not touch you. Oh. Let your father come back. He will deal with you." And then the child is afraid. He's praying, God, I pray my daddy would have slept before I come back. Anybody knocks on the door, the child is filled with fear. Is that my daddy? So the fathers automatically become the scarecrow of the family. And then when the father comes, as expected, the mother reports the child to the father, and before you know, the father just brings out one long bulala and starts to flog the child. Iwala, iwo, iwai. Give the child, sit down there and give me 50 frog jumps. Give me 20 okadas. As a parent, as a father, when you continue to do this, your child now begins to associate your coming back home with pain. The child sees you that as my father is coming back, pain is coming. As my dad is coming back, flogging is coming back. As my dad is coming back, punishment. Okay, so as fathers, try as much as possible to avoid falling into that trap. Best bet is to seek alternative ways of disciplining your children. Choose discipline over punishment. Set clear rules. Set boundaries. Have discussions with your children. Let them know your expectations from them. And like I said, seek positive ways to discipline your children. Don't be the father that is always in a hurry to rush for the bulala, rush for the koboko, rush for the cake. Don't be the scarecrow of the family. Number 2 is to avoid being a financial provider only. A lot of fathers work so hard, and the only thing they do, they really don't have time for their children. They don't bond with their children. They just drop money, pay school fees, pay the bills, and that is where it ends. You don't have a relationship with their children. And as fathers, you ought to remember that you will grow old. At the end of the day, you will need that bonding with your children. You will need that relationship. You will want your children to come around, and then you remember old times, good old times, and you laugh about it. You will want them to feel so free bringing their children to grandpa. You will want them to feel so free to come to you, and you have wonderful discussions, you have wonderful times together. But if you do not build that kind of relationship whilst they are growing up, you may not, or it may be very difficult for you to build that relationship when they are older, when they have their own responsibilities, they have their own families. There's really nothing for them to hold on to. They don't really look forward to being in your presence. They just do the needful, send you money, and then pay your bills. It's give and take. All you were to them, you were just a financial provider. You took care of their bills. In return, when they grow up, they just send you money. They may not really come around you when you need them. Even when you're celebrating important events, they may not be around you. So as a father, try as much as possible to be there for your children. Try as much as possible to create time. You may not be so free to have so much time with your children, but the little time you have, let it be quality time that they will always look forward to it, and they will remember when they grow. Number 3 is making children believe that their mothers are the ones doing everything. I had a father that called me and he said, "Madam, henceforth, whatever my children need in school, send me the message. I will transfer the fund directly to you." Now, this is a father that doesn't waste time in paying school fees. He's usually one of the first person during the holiday. He has paid his children's school fees. Usually it is the mother that calls and she sends the school fees. But suddenly there's a change and the man says, "I want to be responsible for my children's school fees." Now, the man said, I'm almost in trouble. I live far away from my children. All I do is send money. The last time I came back, these children didn't want to have anything to do with me. Even whilst I was there, they kept on going to their mother. Mommy, give me money for biscuit. Mommy, I want to buy soap. Mommy, I want to do this. Mommy, pay for DSTV. And it was, the mother is actually a housewife. She doesn't do anything. So automatically, all the money comes from the father. But the children believe that their mother is the one doing everything. So as much as possible, as fathers, let your children know the sacrifices that you are making for them. Let them know the contributions, the financial contributions. Let them know you're paying the bills. Now, this is not to make their mother look redundant, make her look like she's doing nothing. No, but let children know that these are the sacrifices you are making for them, especially little children. Let them know. You see a lot of children, when we tell them in schools, when we're talking, a lot of children will say, auntie, my mommy has paid my school fees. My mommy says she's coming to school to pay my school fees. And sometimes even when we are teaching them roles of fathers do this, fathers pay the bills, fathers pay school fees, you see some children arguing. They tell you, no, my mommy is the one paying school fees. And these are families that we know, for some of them, yes, we know that some families have peculiar arrangements where mothers pay fees and all of that. For some families that we know that the fathers are the ones doing everything, because sometimes the fathers send messages and they request for a little bit of time, so the money is coming from the father, but the children keep insisting that it is my mommy that is paying my school fees. So as parents, don't let children believe that their mothers are the ones doing everything, financially taking care of the house chores, feeding them, and then they begin to look at you that, so what are you even doing as a father? And before you know it, they begin to lose respect for you as a father, and it gets to a point that they grow to a certain age, and they believe that they really don't need anything from you anymore. As fathers, we will do a lot in this regard, so that we do not lose our relevance where our children are concerned. And then number 4 is failing to lead by example. As a father, the way you control your emotions, the way you control your finances, the way you handle your relationships, your children are watching. It's enough to give children instructions, but then again, our character speaks. Our character is always screaming louder. Okay, our do as I say is not as powerful as do as I do. So as a father, lead by example in terms of controlling your emotions, in terms of controlling your anger, in terms of managing your relationships, in terms of managing finances. On Friday, we were talking to the kids about Father's Day, and then we asked the children, tell me one thing you like about your father. It was just about spending. We heard a lot of them say, my daddy is a spending daddy. My daddy is a bye-bye daddy. Anytime my daddy is at home, my daddy is just going out, coming in. As he's coming in, he's bringing big, big bags. My daddy is a spending money. My daddy wants to give you money. My daddy will give you big money. So a lot of children are learning how to manage finances from the fathers. So as fathers, we will do a lot in helping our children to lead by examples. Show them the right way to manage their lives, their relationships, the people around them, your relationship with your neighbors, with your friends, even with their mother. Children learn these things all the time. Number 5 is, don't be a weak or a permissive parent. Don't be weak with discipline. Don't be weak with your rules. When you set rules, be a father that is there to follow through. When you set your rules, when you tell your children, these are the expectations, these are the limits, these are the boundaries, as a father, ensure that you follow through. When you decide, you have put measures in place, you have put rules, strict rules, and children go against the rules, make sure you are a father that you are up to, how do I put it, make sure that you are a father that you are not permissive. You don't just let children go when they misbehave. As fathers are figures of authority. So as a father, play that role in your family. Be a symbol of authority. Let your children draw that kind of strength from you. Don't just allow them. You see a lot of fathers, especially for fathers that are probably not always around, they travel, and when they come back, they just have that soft spot. They feel that because they've not been around, they just allow the children misbehave and all of that. No, as fathers, be a father that is strong enough to discipline children the right way. If you really do not know the right thing to do, learn supportive discipline, learn better ways to reach your children and to discipline them the right way. Number 6 is being too strict or being too harsh. You see some fathers, just like I said, the scarecrow of the family. There are some fathers that once they drop, their rules are always hot. They're always dropping it hot, and they don't even allow children explain. They don't allow children talk. Once you give rules, rules must be followed strictly. They don't want to allow children air their own opinions. They don't even want to allow children explain why certain things are happening. A lot of fathers are just so strict. Now, if I may add this, it will get to a point that the children will deliver themselves from you. And by that time, because you will not even have all the strength